Welcome back to another Limitless SMP episode. On last episode, we made a platform, and it was a massive platform to go ahead and fit all of our villagers and crop farms and animal farms. And I started this episode on a stream. And kind of knocked out some basic stuff already. And so right now I am currently standing on the platform that we created, but let me show you a little bit of what we got accomplished on stream, why I hate it, and why I'm going to be redoing it. So first we have our villagers over here, and somehow we've already lost one of our villagers. I don't know if maybe a piglin or a drowned got out and got to him. I don't know what happened, but we lost our first villager. So I'm going to need to move them a little bit further out, I think, into a little bit safer environment. I'm thinking maybe somewhere over here. And then I put up some temporary crop farms after stream, just to kind of get us some stuff going for trades here in a little bit. Again, I don't really love any of these setups yet. They're all just temporary to get them kind of going. Through that process, though, I was able to get the diamond armor you see on me today. It doesn't have very great options when it comes to protection or anything like that, but it's at least a start. And then some diamond tools, a diamond sword, and then I was able to get a silk touch villager, this guy right here. And so I did end up grabbing some of my dirt blocks and doing that. But I think between like the drowned and just the nether portal itself, I want to kind of avoid being so close to the center area and maybe move them out a little bit more, and I'm thinking somewhere in this corner over here. So yeah, and then today's episode, I kind of want to get some pathing going. So I want to get some like barrier blocks all around this island, get my villagers locked in, and get a good crop and cow and sheep farm at least going, so that way I can have a little bit more. I'm struggling a little bit with leather and different things like that, and so I want to get some leather and some wool and get different colored wool. So yeah, that's kind of the plan for today. Expand the farms, get the villagers going and locked in, and we'll kind of keep you updated on how everything is going this morning. Also, what is this? This is from the British Safety Standards Group, and they have done a risk assessment on me, and it says I have the following breaches of standards. Number one, inadequate lighting on lower levels. I don't think so. No barriers on upper levels. Well, look, it's a work in progress. Walkways below the minimum width of 3 blocks. I don't have any walkways. People have created walkways to me, but I don't have any walkways. Multiple hazards are not clearly labeled, but she misspelled labeled. Oh, that's irritating. Nether portal is not secure. Uh, Allowing access to the overworld. We recommend that you perform a review of your island and act accordingly. Failure to do so will result in being listed as FCDO, hostile territory, and BSS citizens will be advised to avoid trade or travel to your island. You know what? You know what I think of this BSS standard? I think that it's, important that we are safe and secure, but I also think that I am not going to abide by the British safety standards on my island. So that's what I think about that. Yeah, we're going to completely ignore it and do whatever we want with our island. No, if you haven't watched Red Riding on our server, she'll be linked on our website. You definitely need to go check her out and all of her content, as she's going to be doing some British safety standards along with Fred and Caribou. And right now it seems like there's some resistance going with Free Will and the HOA. and it's not what you think when you think of HOA. So definitely need to check out their 2 channels and see what's going on between the feud of the HOA and the British safety standards. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. First, I want to move over my villagers and get all my villagers locked in, and get some additional villagers up here from the lower level and get them locked in for trades. That's going to be a long grind to try and get all that stuff, but we're going to do it. And then we'll work on making it a little bit nicer. So first, I got to move all these guys over into that section somewhere over there, far away from this death trap over here, and then we'll go ahead and get started with some of the improvements to the area a little bit at a time. So yeah, that's the plan for today. Let's get started. All right, so we were able to finally move all the villagers over and get a bunch more villagers from upstairs. So all of these villagers are now in place, and we have a good amount to start. So I do have the trades right here for like weaponsmith, and then we've got right over here our armors and our toolsmiths over in this section right here. I like all these guys to be together because they're my iron to emerald trades, so I just go down the line and trade with them. I did want to get these stone cutters, the masons, in place so that I could get some more building block options for my island, but I have not locked any of these guys in place. So from these guys all the way down the line, all those trades are all the way down to the master level, so where everything is unlocked. And same with all of my villagers that have the signs over them for the librarians. So we have a good amount of trades already in place, and see, these guys are even down to getting golden carrots so that I can have a food source that's a little bit nicer. All right, so now let's go over our librarians. These took me about several days of just like a couple hours a day of just trying to get these guys locked in and get all the trades that I needed. Some of them ended up having lower prices than others. Some of them are a little bit like they're duplicated, like I've got several of them. And some of them are a little bit higher price, and I'd like to get them down a bit lower, but that's going to be something I'll have to work on later. I initially wanted to get everything I needed, and then if I found a lower price, I would lock that guy in as well. But ultimately, I was just going to make sure I got everything that I possibly needed. So here's what we have. We have a Depth Strider 3, an Infinity, a Fortune 3, a Protection 4. That guy's a little more expensive with Protection 4. Sweeping Edge 3, Aqua Affinity, Mending, Smite 4, but I do have a Smite 5 guy, but I've had bad luck with that in the past. So I was like, well, I'm just going to mark that just in case. We have a Flame guy, a Looting and Density 5 guy. The Density 5 is ridiculously expensive, but I don't really care about that right now. Silk Touch, Punch 2, Mending. We have a Knockback Impaling 5, which is nice. A Smite 5 guy. See, this is the guy I found later on. And he's actually not that bad a price. 37 emeralds for Smite 5 is not the greatest, but not the worst. Feather Falling 4, Frostwalker 2. Again, this Frostwalker 2 is ridiculously expensive, 42 emeralds. But the Feather Falling guy, 14 emeralds. That's going to be awesome. This Unbreaking guy is way too expensive. I either need to cure him or find another one, but I was definitely locking in an Unbreaking one because I'd gone through all those villagers, and this was the first Unbreaking guy I had found. This is my cheapest Mending guy. That's why he's got the star next to him at 10 emeralds for the Mending trade. We've got a Power 5 guy, Efficiency 5 guy, Protection 4. This one's my cheapest Protection 4 at 16 emeralds for Protection 4. He also has Depth Strider 3, but I have a cheaper Depth Strider 3 guy. A Fire Aspect 2, look at that price, 8 emeralds to get that guy. Luck of the Sea 3, that was just kind of like a, he's a pretty good price, so I'm going to get the Luck of the Sea for 11 emeralds. Protection 4, this is just a backup guy. I have several of them, and it's just like, I think I have 3 of them, Protection 4 guys. And it's just because I'm nervous that if I lose one, I want to have another one in place. It's the same with, I'm really like that with Unbreaking, Mending, and Protection, because those are the books that I use the most. I can find a Feather Falling guy, but those ones are a little bit more expensive. We've got a Power 5 guide that's a little bit cheaper, but still at 40 emeralds, which is just ridiculous. And then the one that I had the hardest time finding was a Respiration 3 guy, but I didn't get a bad price on him. So, and then also we have, anytime there's a glass trade or a bookshelf trade, we put a glass block or a bookshelf over their heads so that we know which ones are. And then guys like this don't have either glass or bookshelves available, so they don't have anything over them. This is not necessarily the final look I want to go for with this, and I might not even be able to beautify this, especially on this episode, but this at least gives me a good start to be able to move more villagers in should I need to, and get the initial trades that I need. And this will kind of help open up the game as far as making everything so much faster for me. So if I want to go fight enemies, I've got better weapons and all of that. If I want to go mine something and use Silk Touch, I now have the ability to do that and break glass and do other things. So yeah, this is definitely going to be a huge help to me to be able to kind of mark where I'm going to be going and what I'm going to be doing. And so this is definitely a huge help for me and all of my future endeavors. So yeah, again, this is still going to be a work in progress. I want to get a Fletcher and some other guys in there as well, and definitely not the final look, but at least a start. And I'm very happy with how it goes. The reason I moved it over from there is because of these trident guys. They were getting pretty bad there for a while, and they kept trying to throw the trident at my villagers. And we definitely want to keep our hard work alive in those villagers. And even though they're pretty safe far away, being over here was just a bit too close. All right. Next, we're going to jump into something. I thought I was going to try to get to the beautification of this area a little bit and maybe make some improvements on that. But I kind of have another project in mind. And so that'll kind of help me in the future as well, and with the experience and some other things. So let's jump into some other potential plans that I have for getting this, getting us further along in the game first. Let's jump into that. I lied. Before I do the Magma Cube, I definitely want to get full-blown protection armor. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to get everything that I need in place and try to get as much protection as I possibly can against the Magma Cubes in case they do hit me. I do want that protection. So I'm going to get a full tricked out bow and armor and tools and weapons first before I go through with the other plan, because yeah, I want to be safer than that. So yeah, that's actually the next plan, and then we'll start working on the Magma Cube. All right, and after all of that, I finally have a double chest of each one of the armor pieces. I did create a duplicate set just in case I lose the first one. It is a Skyblock world, so I'm assuming I'm definitely going to lose the first one. So I went ahead and created 2 sets of everything and got all the books. Now to work on the enchantments, which is going to take just about as long as it did to get the books. But let me show you what I've got. So for my diamond helmet, I have protection, unbreaking, mending. I have respiration and aqua affinity. It's going to be the same for the pants, for the leggings and the chest plate, protection, unbreaking, and mending all across the board. Then for the boots, I have protection, unbreaking, mending, depth strider, and feather falling. For the pickaxes, I have efficiency 5, unbreaking, mending, fortune, and silk touch. For the shovels, I need to add silk touch to that. I will definitely do that. But protection, unbreaking, mending for those. For the axes, I put protection, efficiency 5, unbreaking, mending, and smite. And then for the sword, I put smite on one and sharpness on the other, unbreaking, mending, looting, and sweeping edge. I do have fire aspect and knockback available too, but I don't really like to put those on unless I need to. For the bows, I have power 5, punch, infinity, flame, and Unbreaking 3. So that's going to be all of them. Now the goal is to enchant them. I'm going to link this really cool resource that I found a long time ago. It's a GitHub page, and basically you type in, you select what armor and what tools you're going to be enchanting. And then what it does for you is it allows you to select it, and then it tells you what enchant order you should use to be able to use the lowest amount of experience and make sure that you don't get the too expensive. So that's going to be really super helpful. It has been for me for years. And so I hope that that may help some of you out as well, just using that tool to make sure you use the least amount of XP possible. I did notice that when I was going through this that I didn't have a sharpness 5 guy, so I went ahead and got this one. He's not too expensive at 29 emeralds per trade. And then I did get a loyalty 3 guy as well. So that's going to be the ones that the loyalty one is just something I might need later on for a trident. And then the sharpness 5 is something that I definitely wanted for my sword and didn't realize I didn't have. So that's going to do it for the villager trading and getting all the armor. I'm not going to show you the process of me trying to enchant this because it's just going to be a lot of me trading with villagers for some iron to emeralds just to get the experience to be able to get the trades that I need. So yeah, that's what I'm working on next, is getting all of those enchanted. At least one set. I might try and do 2 just depending on how much time I have, but definitely going to get 1, and then we'll go work on our magma block experience next. All right, well, here is the next project that I tried, and it did not go over successfully on stream. I think I have a better plan for it now that might help me improve this a little bit more. But what I did was I ran a rail all the way over to a basalt area. And that's over in this section over here, just past all these portals. And I promise I'm going to clean this up. This is not a permanent fixture. But basically what I did was I ran a rail system all the way over to a basalt delta, and then I was trying to work on getting a magma cube. In this pack, the Skyblock Editions pack, they have a magma cube where you can throw stone blocks to it, and the stone blocks, he'll give you the ore variants that can appear inside stone blocks, so like diamonds, copper, and other things like coal, iron, anything that can appear, and even diamonds. Oh man, I just did that again. I'm definitely gonna owe her 2 netherrack. I'm sorry, Red. But yeah, so all of these variants are only available through those through the magma cubes. Some of those ore blocks are only available through the mag cubes. Even netherrack, you can go ahead and get. That was the other one I knocked out. Sorry, Red. I promise I will replace them. But even netherrack, you can get through, and then all the way up to ancient debris if you throw it netherrack, and same with deep slate. You can get the ore variants for deep slate. And so I definitely wanted to build all the way over here and try and capture a magma cube. You can see maybe up in the upper left that this is the basalt delta now, but you can also see by the signs of the way it looks like it's almost snowing. That's another sign of the different biomes that you're in the game. And so, yeah, that's where I'm going to kind of work on next, is seeing if we can get a magma cube, maybe a spawning platform, and get a magma cube over into our portal and get them onto the other side, and then maybe push them out and get them set on top of some other like hoppers and other things. So that's the next goal, is to try and get that so we can get, really, I want copper and magma blocks for a gold farm and for expanded chest. And if it's as easy as just throwing them stone blocks to get a bunch of the different resources that I need, I'm definitely willing to go through the hassle of bringing them over. So yeah, that's going to be the next goal, and then I'll tear all this down and clean it back up. I'm the one who placed most of these blocks anyways, so I don't feel too bad about that. But yeah, let's go ahead and build a platform next and get the magma block or the magma cube so we can push him through the portal to get the different block variants. That's the next goal. Oh, that dude broke my shield in like 3.2 seconds. And he's gonna suffocate. Nope, he survived it. I might go through a lot of shields moving this guy, and he might still end up dying. I'm just trying to move a magma cube. Yeah, he's really rough. I needed powered rails is what I really needed. He's probably going to suffocate in this portal up here. Well, he's at half the health he was before he made it to this portal. Okay, don't kill me, dude. That would be terrible. Ow. Jerk. Is he gonna suffocate? I bet he's gonna suffocate. Oh, he made it through. Can you cure these guys at all? Okay, he made it. Barely. Please don't die. Okay. Nope. Alright, dude. I'm gonna need you to stop fighting me to survive and to get over the edge. Okay? Stop it. Stop it. Jerk. I'm about to break this minecart under you, dude. Hey. He's a jerk. Well, I mean, I'm trying to be nice to you, but you know. Well, okay. I bet I'm gonna kill this dude. It's gonna make me so mad. I should just kill him now. Ugh. No, not yet. He's probably gonna be, though. I just ran out of shield. Oh, stupid. Well, I hope you enjoyed that video of me dying or even just trying to move the magma cube over and over again. I did go ahead and clean up all the rails. So what I ended up doing after that video is, after all that struggle, I ended up getting some powered rails and putting it down and moving the magma cube a whole lot easier. I was able to get a new one in place since the one that I did have back there did die on me right after that, and so it suffocated and died, and of course after all that effort that's what happened. So I got a new magma cube in here, And I did put him on top of some hoppers, so I thought that through a little bit more and put him on top of some hoppers. And I threw some stone at him just to make sure everything was working properly. And this was the output already. So we've got some calcite, some coal ore, some copper ore, some deep slate, some gold ore, some iron ore, some lapis, some magma blocks, redstone, tuff, and then some diamond ore. Sometimes he doesn't always consume them, and so he got he'll spit some of the stone back out, and then you could just go back up to the top. I do plan to automate this, but I'd like to get some quartz first, so that way we can get him fed some regular ore, and then see all that long line of stone right there over to that biome island. That was so I could replace Red's netherrack that I broke earlier in the episode. But that's actually gonna do it for today's episode. I can't believe we're already at 30 minutes for this episode. But we were able to make a lot of progress with both getting the magma cube in place, even though that took way longer than expected, and then also just working on the villager trading hall and getting that all set up. So yeah, the villager trading hall does work, and it works really well now, and that'll help with all of our progress moving forward. Also, off camera, I was just doing some busy work while I was working on other things, and I was able to get a double chest of grass blocks. That took forever, but that'll be helpful with future builds and just making this area look better. But I did clean up the grass a little bit around this so that it just had what it needed around the sheep and the cows for that. But anyway, thank you so much for hanging out and watching. If you watched all the way till the end, I really appreciate it. Go ahead and give that video a like if you enjoyed it, or a dislike if you didn't. Any feedback is good for me to hear. And if you would consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss another episode. Also, follow Limitless SMP. Click on that website and you can see all of our content across the server and what we're all about. If you are a content creator, you're more than welcome to apply. We are looking for new content creators to join us and join in this chaos but fun server that we have here. Thanks so much for hanging out and watching, and we'll see you next time.